In today's video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how you can use any negative emotion, practically any emotion that you can think of that is negative, to quickly manifest and see results as soon as today in any kind of circumstance or area of your life. I'm going to describe also exactly what negative emotion is and what it means, because not many people do properly understand the concept. And I'm also going to explain how you can then use all of this negative emotion on a daily basis to work on your behalf and to your advantage. And if you stay until about halfway through the video, I'm going to be doing a quick intuitive exercise that most coaches would never dream of doing with their clients, but when I do it with mine, they really enjoy it and they love me tapping into their energy. So please do stick around for that. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be nice if you did. Also, just as a little side note, if you wonder why the angle is all a little off in this video, it's because I'm sitting on the floor on a cushion. I have a 5-month-old baby, and last night he ended up in bed with me because he's teething at the moment, and yeah, it was quite challenging in terms of being able to sleep comfortably. So today I can hardly move. I feel like I've been kicked by a horse. But yeah, anyway, I very much doubt you're interested in that, but just as an FYI. So, getting straight into the video, what is negative emotion? Well, in short, negative emotion is pretty much you cutting yourself off from you, cutting yourself off from who you are. So, let's say you are feeling quite stressed and overwhelmed a lot. You know, pressure is getting on top of you. There's so many things to be doing. You just feel like you're being pulled in 50,000 different directions every single day, and there's not enough time for you. And whatever situation in your life, let's say work, that, keeps sort of coming up as a challenge, everything is hard work. Everything just feels like it's a struggle. Nothing seems to be flowing or fluid or flexible. Let's say, just for example, that's where you're at right now. Every day it's just like, oh, here we go, another day, getting up and not quite knowing what's going to happen that day, but not being surprised if you just keep getting shovels of shit thrown in your direction. Let's say that's where you're at. So that negative emotion that, we physically feel negative emotion, don't we? We feel it rippling through our body. We feel our blood pressure go up, our heart rate increases. Negative emotion, the word emotion means energy in motion. And we feel it. We feel that energy physically, tangibly within our body. And when I say, you're stopping yourself, or we are stopping ourselves from being who we truly are, and that's what negative emotion indicates. What I mean by that is we are all human beings. We're here to be, we're here to experience and enjoy life to its very fullest, to be happy, to be peaceful, to experience contentment and just a sense of satisfaction and emotional harmony. So, when we experience negative emotion on a daily basis, what happens is, yes, we start to accept almost the anxiety and the adrenaline and the cortisol as just a way of life. But usually it gets to a breaking point where, an illness might come about, or a situation, a really horrible circumstance that really slaps you in the face and brings you to rock bottom. That's usually what it takes before someone will say, right, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore. I need to make changes. So, in short, whenever you're feeling negative emotion, whether it be just a little bit, like, a sort of discomfort, like just a little bit of inner kind of awkwardness or whatever it might be, right up to, as I described, getting up every morning and thinking, oh God, what's today going to bring? Wherever you are on the scale, the level of negative emotion is an indicator of how far removed you are currently from who you're meant to be, the person that you were born to be. And when you were a child, a baby being born and looking around at the world in wonder and excitement and curiosity and thinking, oh, what does this mean? And how do I do this? And just being full of complete intrigue. That is who we were born to be, completely pure, completely full of love, and just being, not doing, not trying to make things happen, not trying to force stuff, and struggling and just feeling like, oh, how do I help myself here, because just everything and everyone else is kind of a challenge right now. That's what negative emotion is, right? That is what it means. Now, how do you make this work for you? And you're probably thinking, well, yeah, Holly, I've been feeling this way for years now, so I very much doubt you're going to be able to just wave a magic wand and give me the solution, right? Well, there is actually a solution. And if you believe in the law of attraction, which no doubt you do, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have clicked on this video, because the clue manifest is all about aligning with the natural laws and forces and having them guide you and assist you, right? And even if you're not completely fully convinced that the law of attraction works, I know you're open to the idea, so just bear with me, okay? Now, the law of attraction clearly explains that we don't just attract what we want, we attract what we are. So if every day you're in this bubble of life's a bitch, life's one big uphill struggle, you just, what's that expression? Life's a bitch and then you die, that kind of thing. If that's, kind of how you tend to feel a lot, and even though you don't want to, you can't help but feel that way, how do you use this to your advantage? Well, the negative emotion, what you'll find is that as you go about your day, there will be some points of the day that actually feel better than others. So maybe it might be, when you wake up in the morning, yes, you're not looking forward to the day ahead, but you have a morning coffee. I love my morning coffee. When I wake up with my baby, it's always quite early, usually about 5 o'clock in the morning. He will have his bottle and I will have my coffee. And it's really quiet, no one's about, and you can hear the birds, now that the mornings are getting lighter because we're coming into spring, you can hear the birds singing, and it's just really a really lovely time of day that I enjoy, and I can kind of center myself and ground myself and think, right, okay, how's this day going to be? And I have that me time, or maybe it's in the evening, maybe you have a downtime in the evening where you just watch TV, or maybe you have a bubble bath, or you read a book, and you just have a little bit of solace that you genuinely enjoy. Or maybe it's just having your dinner and catching up with a friend, or going out to, I don't know, visit someone or see a movie. Who knows? What points of those days are good for you and which ones aren't. So what I'd like you to do is start making a note of what points in the day are really, really challenging versus the ones that aren't, not so challenging, and put it on a scale of 1 to 10. And the reason I bring this up, it might sound irrelevant, but the reason I bring this up is because once you start to create that awareness of, okay, these are the peaks and the troughs during my day, you will start to see patterns, and you will start to see certain behavioral traits and just habitual behavior that you have that kind of contributes. I'm not saying that it's all your fault. Like, let's say you've got a horrible boss and every time you see them in the day you think, oh god, here we go again. I'm not saying that's all your fault, but when you step back and you look at the situation, whatever it might be, and you think, okay, this is a point in my day that I really hate, you start to think, right, well, what can I do differently? What emotions am I experiencing that are making me feel this way, which are then making me react and respond this way and behave in a certain manner that is perpetuating the cycle rather than, kind of minimizing it, or making it kind of trivial in the great scheme of things. Do you understand what I mean? So, in combination with the universe and the law of attraction, and using that negative emotion to your advantage, you might have heard of the expression that, life will keep teaching us, and the universe will continue to just give us over and over again. Karma works in cycles. So every lesson that we don't embrace and we don't endure, then we're just going to have it keep coming back time and time again. Relationships is a perfect example of this, where you meet someone, it's brilliant for the first couple of months, or maybe even just a couple of weeks, and then that predictable cycle starts to come into its own, and you're in this space of, oh well, I knew that was going to happen. Different names, different faces, but same situation, right? And it's exactly the same with everything. In every element of our life, we have a point of attraction. So when we tune into that emotion and we tune into that situation, and our emotions will never lie to us. So that's why it's so important to start off with, okay, every day, what are the highlights for me and what are the low points? And start to really question that, and then that way you can dig deeper and think, okay, what emotion, what's really going on here, what's beneath the surface, what is the universe trying to teach me? Okay, and then you've got the power. You at that stage then have the power to say, right, I don't want to live like this anymore. I am not putting up with this situation. I'm dishonoring myself. I'm dishonoring who I truly am, who I'm meant to be, and I've had enough. And that is it. And then you can actually start to take proactive action. And what you'll find as well is that the universe will start to give you signs. So the more you tap in to that, the more you're going to start to very clearly see, whether it be people, whether it be the situation, so your job, or whether it be going to a certain place, that makes you feel uncomfortable. You will start to very clearly see the triggers around you and the external environment that is triggering you and giving you that sense of, oh my god, I'm not happy. And you start to then feel that literal cut off of positive energy that you might have been feeling 10 minutes prior. And by getting into the habit of doing this, it's going to really, really, really help you. Now, there are all sorts of different ways that you can play about with this, and it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be. The thing with negative emotion, and what actually really annoys me, is when people say, well, you've got to feel it to heal it, in terms of trauma and in terms of dealing with insecurities, dealing with a lack of confidence, not feeling like you have the choices to do what you want to do with your life. You've really got to go there, and you've got to kind of, again, they turn it around into a situation of, well, you've got to suffer and you've got to struggle in order to get through that and come out on the other side. But as I said, the law of attraction will bring you what you are, not what you want. So if the more you are stuck in this negative emotion and energy of, life's a bitch, it's a struggle, it's really difficult, yeah, that might be true for you right now. But when you step back and think, right, okay, well, where have I got power here? Where have I got influence that I can use to my advantage? And I can let my emotions literally be my guide, engaging on a daily basis what I can start to do less of, and what I can start to do more of, in terms of what brings me some sense of relief, some feeling of contentment and peace. You can start to play about with that. And I'm all about the inner child when it comes to healing, and the inner child, that is my forte. But as I said, a lot of people like to go on about healing and suffering and really going there and feeling the pain. And yes, to a degree, that's true. But you don't want to stay there. You want to have the intention of, okay, I'm going to experience this and I'm going to feel it. I'm going to be with that emotion, but I'm going to move out of it. I'm going to move out of it quickly because I'm moving on. I'm going forwards. I'm not going to stay stuck in that same energy space for the next 20 years because you know what? There's a world out there waiting for me to explore it. And when it comes to the inner child, I'm all about the whole, there's a whole world out there waiting for me to explore it. And as I sort of mentioned briefly a while ago, quickly getting back to who you are, who you were born to be, being the person that you truly are in terms of living life from an open mind, an open heart, and an open space, excitement, curiosity, adventure, tapping into what you can't see and using that fantasy make believe world and kind of mindset to really tangibly bring about the desires that you want in your life. And anyone who says, oh well, that's all make believe, that's all Walt Disney stuff, well, guess what? Walt Disney was an adult. But how many children and adults has he inspired on a global scale just by having a very overactive imagination? We all have that inner child within us, and we all have that ability to be able to imagine and to fantasize. And if you're thinking, well, yeah, but I haven't got time for that. I'm an adult now, I need to get realistic. Okay, look around the room that you're sitting in right now and you tell me, give me an example of one man-made thing that at one point wasn't just an idea, wasn't just a thought in someone's head where they thought to themselves, that would be a good idea. Tell me. Now, coming back to, how do I make my negative emotion work for me? I'm reading a book at the moment called The Iron Queen. And The Iron Queen is about one princess in particular called Princess Cordelia, Shakespeare's Cordelia. But the sort of spin on the story is more about her family and, her growing up, right? So she's got two sisters. Cordelia, Princess Cordelia, this is sort of 500 years BC. She's got two sisters. One's called Goneril and the other one's called Regan. Goneril is the heiress to the tribe that they're in. They own all the sort of Coritani land, and they're a very wealthy family, very influential. Her older sister is the heiress and like the goddess. She's the princess of fire, and everyone sort of looks to her as the leader of the three sisters. And then you have Regan, who is more earthly. She's a warrior, she's very strong, she's very brave, she's full of courage. And then there's Cordelia, and Cordelia is the water princess. She's the one who's emotional, she's the one who kind of likes to keep herself to herself. She's a little bit of she's not a recluse to a degree, but her speciality is breeding hounds. And everyone, kind of looks down on her to a degree because she's the third in line to inheriting, the whole Coritani tribe. She's not that important. Anyway, cut a long story short, I'm at the point now in the book where her sister Regan has just got married, and Cordelia has fallen in love with an undersmith. And the older sister, Goneril, has decided that she wants him to be her consort. And she's making a play for him, and she's doing a lot of manipulating and stuff to sort of get him on side. And Cordelia is, bound by duty, and also just the fact that she is quite a gentle, sensitive soul, very intuitive. She's sort of, to want to fight is not her style. Anyway, she ends up, I don't know all the details just as of yet, but she ends up taking the entire Coritani land and all the tribes. She takes them all under her wing, and she ends up being the ruler. And of course, it causes a complete division between her and her sisters. But you know, she ends up gaining the upper hand. And why? All through the fact that she is the water princess, and it's her emotions and her intuition that guide her. So, don't, in terms of emotion, the emotions that we experience, whether they be good or bad, they're the greatest asset that we have to help and give us the direction and guidance that we need. So, wrapping up that part of the video, I think I've kind of fully explained the emotional side of things. But now onto the exercise that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just take a few minutes to close your eyes and tune into how you're feeling right now in this moment. And what I'm going to do, what I've started to recently do in my videos, is pull a few angel and power thought cards for you, just to give you a little bit of guidance today, just to give you some support and encouragement from above. I'm very good at channeling, and I'm very intuitive when it comes to tapping into people's energy. So if you have a specific question, or you're just open to receiving, close your eyes right now and just take a moment. Just take a moment for yourself, and trust that you've been guided here to this video today to not only seek answers from myself, but from a higher power. And whatever negative emotions are bothering you right now, you are strong enough to use them to your advantage, because that's what the spiritual journey is all about. Okay, so the cards that I'm using is the Universe Has Your Back, Louise Hay's Power Thought cards, and Archangel Power Tarot cards, which are bought by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. I love these cards because even though they're from 3 completely different decks, they all correspond with each other, and they kind of tell a little story in themselves and back up exactly what the sort of tone is in terms of the message in the video. And it's pretty cool. I was doing them just on their own with the last few videos, if you've seen any, but this time I've decided to incorporate both the coaching and the sort of mini reading as well, because that's what I do quite frequently with clients that I work with on a one-to-one basis, and when I do groups as well, and everyone really loves it and enjoys it, so it's quite fun. Okay, so the first one is my outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty bang on, right? And we've got the moon here as well, and the moon symbolizes the divine feminine. And it's interesting how I spoke about, the water princess in the Iron Queen, the book that I'm reading, is because the moon governs the waves and the tide, and the planet is 70% water. We are 70% water. So whenever there is a full moon, it's a sort of peak for a lot of people in terms of emotional experiences, and there's this sense of needing to let go and shed. And a lot of women, their menstrual cycles are actually in alignment with the lunar cycle, so that's very interesting. So there's nothing wrong with being emotional, really tapping in and allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to really get to grips with what's going on beneath the surface, and how you can honor yourself and embrace those emotions with the intention of moving forwards and moving through and past them, and using them to be your backbone and your source of strength. Second card. Now, with this, you can use this as an affirmation. You can take this affirmation with you over the next few days, and basically, if you're not sure about how affirmations work, then check out one of my other videos called well, I've got quite a few on affirmations actually, but how writing can change your life is a very popular one. I do affirmations about money. I'll leave some links below for you to check out in your own time. But back to the card. I trust my inner wisdom. So that's perfect. I trust my inner wisdom as I go about my daily affairs. I listen to my own guidance. My intuition is always on my side. I trust it to be there at all times. I am safe. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then we have the moon. The moon with water, and then you've got the white and the black animals here. White dog, black. I think that's a badger. The opportunity to improve your plans. Listen to your intuition for accurate guidance. Face your fears and grow stronger. Now, I mean, come on. I couldn't have written that myself. That's pretty bang on. So I'll just quickly read to you the meaning of that tarot card, that angel card. And 18 is actually a major arcana, so right. It's time to review your plans. Something just isn't quite right, and your angels and guides are lovingly bringing this to your attention. The great news is that your psychic and intuitive abilities are heightened right now. Listen to your intuition and your sleeping dreams for guidance as to how to make revisions. Archangel Haniel can help you develop your psychic gifts and show you what aspects of the situation you're missing. It's human to have moments when you feel worried or uncertain. This card is meant to reassure you that by facing your fears, you can overcome them and evolve to a higher level. Ask Archangel Haniel to shed light on all facets of your life. Additional meanings of this card: messages from deceased loved ones, hidden information or motivations, and facing your fears. So that kind of comes back down to like the people around you right now, the environment, you know, but the only thing we can't trust is our emotions. And, you know, using those negative emotions and really working with them is your key to quickly manifesting. So that in a nutshell is today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it of some benefit. If you yourself have experienced negative emotions and actually had shifts using them and making them work to your advantage with the law of attraction, then please do comment below. Tell us your stories. Tell us how you've managed to achieve that. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd also love to create a more collective energy on this channel where we can all engage and support each other. If you would like to go deeper with negative emotion and how you can actively use it to manifest on your behalf, then check out one of my very, very popular videos that I did last year called Using Anger to Manifest. It is even more detailed about how that works and how you can use it to strengthen you on your manifestation journey. You can alternatively as well check out my 14-day Law of Attraction miracle process, which is all about the inner child. It's all about you going back to roots and challenging core beliefs and habitual behavior that you have maybe carried for a long time that is now getting in your own way and you are ready to let go of. It does what it says on the tin in terms of miracles. It's 14 days. It is very fun. It teaches you a lot about the balance between work and play and how to kind of reparent and reprogram your mindset around what it means to work, what it means to play, what it means to actually manifest. So you have been warned in terms of the miracles. It works very, very quickly. It comes with a load of bonus material, and it is a really enjoyable process. I've had so much positive feedback from it, which you can check out on the page for yourself. But what I will say is please do be careful what you wish for, because it does work very, very quickly. Okay, so until next time, lots of love, take care, and I will speak with you very, very soon.